Hey everybody, I hope that you are well, and also I hope that you are well, and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 5 English lesson on simple, compound, and complex sentences. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 5, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of simple, compound, and complex sentences. All right. So our chapter is simple, compound, and complex sentences. Our subject is English, which is language arts, grade 5. And our lessons that we are focusing on under the chapter of simple, compound, and complex sentence is the sentence simple or compound, and we need to create compound sentences. So that is going to be our lessons for this for today. All right. So we're going to our first lesson, right? And it says, so a simple sentence. A simple sentence is a sentence with only one subject and a predicate, right? So simple sentence, it has only one subject and it has a predicate, right? It's like saying it's got it's telling us only one person or thing that's doing the action and one action that is being done, right? For example, so an example is the pitcher threw the ball to first base. So the pitcher threw the ball to first base. If we look at that sentence, the pitcher threw the ball to first base, then if we look at our subject, then the subject is the pitcher, right? And then our predicate is, you can either say threw, or we can say, so we can say threw, or we can say threw the ball to first base, right? Then we have a compound sentence, right? And a compound sentence is two simple sentences that is joined by a comma as well as a conjunction. And the conjunctions is and, but, or, so. So which means that we have two simple sentences that we are joining together, right? And while we join those sentences together, then we join it by using a conjunction, right? And once we add the conjunction, we need to also add a comma before them. So comma, then conjunction. So and, but, or so, that is our conjunctions. And if we look at an example of a compound sentence, right? Remember we said it is two simple sentences that is joined by a comma as well as a conjunction. The one sentence is the pitcher threw the ball. I'm going to put the one there to show that sentence one. And then the batter hit it. That is his sentence two, right? So which means that the batter hit it is, it's basically a sentence that can stand on its own. The pitcher threw the ball is also a sentence that can stand on its own. But these two simple sentences we have joined now, and we joined it by using a conjunction. But not forgetting that we first put the comma and then a conjunction. So comma and conjunction. There we have it, right? And that is a compound sentence. Right? So compound sentence, it is two simple sentences that is joined by a comma and a conjunction, such as and, but, or, so, right? And there we have an example, the pitcher threw the ball, comma, and the batter hit it. That is two simple sentences that is joined together by a comma as well as a conjunction. Then we also have some simple sentences, right? Remember, a simple sentence is a sentence that only has one subject as well as a predicate, right? And it shows a complete, sentence. But then we also have some of our simple sentences, they have a compound subject or they have a compound predicate, right? It's where there's either two subjects or there's two predicates, right? But we do not say that they are compound sentences. But yet it says they are not compound sentences. They are not, right? So they're just simple sentences, but they have a compound subject or they have a compound predicate. And it's like I say, it's either two predicates or two subjects, right? That is being joined. In the sense of, if we look at an example, then it's like saying, if we have two subjects, then it's like saying Anna and James, right? So the and over there, it joins that two names, right? Or it's adding that two names. So it's Anna and James. So that is two subjects within this one sentence. And this is not a compound sentence because it is not joined by a comma and a conjunction, right? It's not two simple sentences that is being joined. It is just basically having a compound subject, either two subjects or two predicates. So the example is, so the example is Anna and James will watch the fireworks tonight. So Anna and James is our compound subject, right? And then our predicate is watch or will watch the fireworks tonight. Which means that once again, Anna and James is our compound subject, right? It's a compound subject. It's Anna and James. It's not just Anna, it's not just James, Anna and James. And then if we look at a compound predicate, right, with basically saying two verbs, then we can say the singer bowed and walked off the stage. So it's showing that the singer did two things, right? The singer bowed, which is an action, and walked off the stage. So there's two actions that was done within that sentence. So once again, these, we don't call it compound sentences. It's just a compound subject, or we call it a compound predicate, right? But it is still a basically a simple sentence. Or let's say it's a compound, simple compound sentence. All right. And this sentence that says the singer bowed and walked off the stage, right? They have a compound predicate, and the compound predicate is bowed and walked off the stage. But bowed and walk, that is the action that was being done. All right. Then also when it comes to simple sentences, right, or different types of sentences, then we also have introductory sentences, right? Or some simple sentences, they have an introductory phrase, right? So some simple sentences, they have an introductory phrase. And remember, firstly, a simple sentence, it has one subject and it has one predicate, right? So we are saying that some of the simple sentences, they have an introductory phrase. It's like introducing, it's like the way they start, right? But we do not call them a compound sentence. So once again, they are not a compound sentence. It is just an introductory phrase. And usually the introductory phrase, right, is part of the predicate. So the introductory phrase is part of the predicate, the action that is being taken place. For example, in the winter, Farmer Ben wears his heavy coat. So in the winter, Farmer Ben wears his heavy coat. And if we look at an example of an introductory phrase, right, within a simple sentence, then we can say, in the winter, Farmer Ben wears his heavy coat, which means that this is a simple sentence, right? It has one subject, which is Farmer Ben, right? There's a subject, which is Farmer Ben, and it has one predicate. And we have one predicate, which is wears his heavy coat, right? Within the winter. But it's just that it starts within the winter, but if we look at the predicate, right, it says that the predicate is basically the compound. At the start, the predicate, it basically shows or it is linked with the introductory phrase, right? So, like I said, Farmer Ben is our subject, and then our predicate is wears his heavy coat. And then if we were to add the introductory phrase to the predicate, then it would be wears his heavy coat in the winter. So, predicate is like a verb or like a verb phrase type of thing. So predicate is like a verb, it's the action, or you can basically say the action phrase, the verb phrase. So predicate is basically the verb, or it's a part of a sentence, right? So it's a part of a sentence that contains a verb. And that is why you see, I'm not just underlining the verb on its own, I'm underlining basically the whole part of that sentence that shows the action. Like, for example, if the verb phrase or the predicate is wears, if the verb is wears, but the predicate, right, is wears his heavy coat. So it's basically part of the sentence that contains a verb, right? And it's basically telling us about the subject, about either the noun, right? So it's basically like that whole, can basically say it's like the whole phrase. So yes, so thank you, Prabha, for assisting there also. All right. Do we understand? Can I continue? All right, guys. I'm sorry if I sound terrible, but I do have a cold. I've been having the flu for some time now. All right, guys. Do we understand what a simple sentence is? Do we understand what a simple sentence is? It's like saying it's a basic sentence with one subject and a predicate. Do we know what a simple sentence is before I continue? Anybody else? Are you clear on what a simple sentence is, or should I explain again? I said a simple sentence, it has one subject and a predicate. And a subject is basically your noun, right? It's the person or thing that we are talking about within the sentence. And then we said a predicate, right? It's like the verb, it's like a part of the sentence that contains a verb. So it's the verb and the rest of that sentence. But it's a simple sentence. And that is correct. A simple sentence does not have a conjunction. It's just your basic sentence with a noun and a verb in. All right. So I'm sure by the response that we do know what a simple sentence is. And yes, it does not have a conjunction. Then we have a compound sentence. A compound sentence is again two simple sentences that is joined by a comma and a conjunction. So if I read that, or if I tell you that, do we understand what a compound sentence is? If we were to now write a compound sentence, or if we were to identify a compound sentence, will we know the difference between a simple sentence and a compound sentence? That is correct. A compound sentence, it contains a conjunction, right? Not forgetting that it joins the two sentences, right? Joins the two simple sentences, but it has a conjunction, which is either and, but, or so, right? All right. Then we also have a sentence with an introductory phrase, right? And usually the introductory phrase, it is part of the predicate. And then we also have a sentence with a compound subject as well as a compound predicate. So if a sentence has a compound subject, then it means that it has two people or animals or things that they're talking about. And if we have a compound predicate, then it's two actions that is being done by one person, right? You may ask the question. You may ask the question. No, not a compound sentence. Remember, a compound sentence is just two simple sentences that is being joined, right, by a conjunction, right? So it's two simple sentences that is joined together, right, to make one sentence, but it's joined by a conjunction. If a sentence has an independent clause and a dependent clause, then we call that a complex sentence. Because a complex sentence has a independent clause, right, as well as a dependent clause. So that's a complex sentence. Yeah, I'm sure it must only be independent clause and independent clause. I think maybe the higher you go, like maybe if you go to like maybe grade 8, 9, 10, round about there, or let's say maybe higher than grade 8, then they will maybe go much more deeper because now your sentences won't just be as simple as a basic subject and a predicate, you understand? Because once the more, or let's say the more we write, or the more formal things we're going to have to write, the more wording, the more things you're going to be using, even the more things that you're going to be learning. There's going to be more sentence types, or you're going to go into more difficult things when it comes to writing. right. I'm just glad that all of us are, we understand what a simple sentence, compound sentence, and a compound sentence is, right? And remember, guys, when you ask me questions or you help out another person who is asking a question, that is also that is basically a way of all of us learning together, right? Because as much as yes, I am the teacher, but we are learning from one another, you know. Sometimes it comes across more simpler and way better if you maybe help your friends with an answer compared to maybe how I give a response to your question. All right. So I do appreciate all of you who are assisting and helping one another. All right. So thank you, Prabha. All right. Okay. If we look at the sentence, eagles can soar over 10,000 feet and the eyesight is amazing. If we look at that sentence, right, is that sentence a simple sentence or can we say it's a compound sentence? Eagles can soar over 10,000 feet high, comma, and the eyesight is amazing. Is that a compound sentence or is that a simple sentence? A complex sentence as an independent clause and it has a dependent clause, meaning that an independent clause can stand on its own. It has a subject and a predicate, and a dependent clause, it's either missing either subject or it's missing a predicate, right? And it cannot stand on its own. We cannot really form a proper sentence with a dependent clause, right? Because it needs the independent clause in order to complete that sentence, right? But we will find out more about a complex sentence soon. It's either soon if we do have time, if not, then definitely in our next lesson. All right, so if we look at the sentence, this is a compound sentence. And what makes it a compound sentence is the two simple sentences, right? And then here we have our conjunction that is joining our two simple sentences. All right, let us go to our test. All right, if we go to the test, right, it says which is a compound sentence. Is it the first one, which says the average American eats 3 pounds of sugar each week? Or is it option two, which says Asian pears don't change color after being harvested, but some European pears do? Which option shows a compound sentence? All right, and if we answer the question of which is a compound sentence, then yes, that is correct. Option two is correct, right? Because option two, right, shows Asian pears don't change color after being harvested, comma. But these are conjunction. Some European pairs do, right? So option two is a compound sentence. Remember, compound sentence is two simple sentences that is joined by a comma as well as a conjunction. So well done. Well done. Which is a simple sentence? A simple sentence that has only one subject and only one predicate. Is it option one, Mark knitted a wool sweater and Sasha sewed a jacket? Or is it option two, the subway runs beneath the streets of the city? Option one or option two? A simple sentence, the simple sentence. Remember, simple sentence, it only has one subject and one predicate. Let's give Seth some time. All right, so a simple sentence is option two, right? Which is the subway runs beneath the streets of the city, right? Which means that we have only one subject and only one predicate within that simple sentence, right? All right, we need to say which is a simple sentence, right? Is it option one? This paragraph is too long, so I need to remove some sentences. Or option two, you can make a kill pen with a goose feather. We need to say which option is a simple sentence. A simple sentence. Remember, simple sentence as one subject and one predicate. Compound sentence as two simple sentences that is joined by a conjunction. I'm not sure how many times is going to be the second option. I'm not sure if your name is your name Ediri? Ediri is a complex sentence, or you're asking does a complex sentence have all the things a compound sentence has? A complex sentence has a independent clause, right? As well as a dependent clause. So we cannot really say it has all the things that a compound sentence has. No, I'm also laughing about it, don't worry. All right, so a simple sentence is the second option, right? So well done, everybody. The second option is correct. Let's do one more. Which is a compound sentence? A compound sentence. Is it option one? The woman at the post office weighs the packages on the scale. Or option two, Canadian geese are flying south, so winter must be coming. Again. All right. So again, we have our answer is the second option. I think we're gonna have to speak to the people that is drawing up the test as to why it's the same option all the time. But the second option is correct. All right. Let's go to creating a compound sentence. Remember, we said a compound sentence, it is two simple sentences, right? That is joined by a coordinating conjunction or conjunction, right? And a conjunction is words like and, but, or so, right? That's conjunction. So we have our two simple sentences and we join those two simple sentences, right, with a comma as well as a conjunction, and then we create a compound sentence, right? All right. So by now, all of us already know what a compound sentence is. So I'm sure we don't have to go over the activities, right? So let us just go straight to our test. All right, it says form a compound sentence. So we are going to form a compound sentence, right? They are giving us the first part of the sentence, and we are going to add the second part of the sentence, right? I agree. I think they also did that. All right, so it says Harvard University is the oldest university in, do we say in the United States, not the largest one? Or do we say Harvard University is the oldest university in America and it is one of the most respected? So we need to choose either option one or two. Option one, right? If we add this sentence, this part of the sentence, right, with either option one or two, it says Harvard University is the oldest university in, with option one, the United States, not the largest one. Or do we say Harvard University is the oldest university in option two, America, and it is one of the most respected? We need to choose either option one or option two that is joining that sentence. So option one or option two. Remember, a compound sentence, right? It joins the two sentences, right? By using a conjunction. And a conjunction is words like and, but, or so. That is the conjunctions. So look at the options again. A conjunction is and, but, or so. Do not doubt your answer. All right, so if we join that sentence, right, with one of the options, then it's going to be the second one. Guys, remember that a conjunction, right, is and, it's but, or so. And, but, or so, right? And if we look at the first option, it says the United States, not the largest one. And then the second option says America, and it is one of the most respected, right? And remember, it's supposed to be this, Lisa, if you look at it, is one of the most respected, right? Which means that that can stand on its own. Because remember, we need to, a compound sentence is two simple sentences that is being joined together by a conjunction, and, but, or so, right? So the second one is correct. So there we have the second one again, right? So the second one again. All right. We need to form a compound sentence, right? Eve will be studying chemistry at Brooklyn University. Do we say, but she might take a year off first? Or Eve will be studying chemistry at Brooklyn University, one of the best science schools in the state? Is it option one or option two? Keeping in mind, guys, our conjunction that is joining the two sentences is either and, or, but, or so. Is it option one or option two? All right. And finally, it's the first one, right? Finally, it's the first option. So we'll say Eve will be studying chemistry at Brooklyn Field University, but she might take a year off first, right? So well done. The first one is cool. Great. All right, let's do one more. We need to form a compound sentence. We're going to either choose one of the options first, and then we're adding it to our over here. It says the ancient city of Thebes had many temples and they can be seen in modern day Egypt. Or do we say option two, the ruins of many important ancient temples can be seen in modern day Egypt? Is this option one that is joining the sentences together or option two? Option one or option two? All right, and if we choose the correct option, then we will say the ancient city of Thebes had many temples and they can be seen in modern day Egypt, which is option one. Finally, it's not just option two. So well done, everybody. All right, so we said a simple sentence, right? It is It consists of a subject and a predicate only, one subject and one predicate only. Then we see the compound sentence, right? It is two simple sentences that is joined by a comma as well as a conjunction, right? And a conjunction is words like and, but, or so. We are going to do a complex, or we're going to find out what a complex sentence is in our next lesson, right? For now, this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade fives, for joining our class. Thank you for helping one another. Thank you for interacting. Till next time, you should have a good evening further. Goodbye.